EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martin here with your outlook for November 3rd, 2020. It is Election Day, finally, and we will have a trough that is still going to be in place this morning that's going to be lifting out as we go through the course of the afternoon. So temperatures are going to increase a little bit from what we saw on Monday, but and not nearly as windy. But we are going to have a breezy go at it this morning until that trough lifts out. And there's a system moving across New York State also moving off to the south and east that will stay away from our area. No precipitation from that. But we will have some winds still kicking up this morning up to about noon or so. I think we're going to start off with winds that are generally in the 20 to 30 range starting off. And then we just start to back off after that point. And because of that, as we look at the apparent temperature or the wind chill factor that's created by the temperatures that are at that time, this is at 8 a.m. At that time, temperatures are expected to be in the 30s, and the apparent temperature will take us to the 20s with those winds. That will be cold this morning. If you're planning on going to vote early this morning, make sure you're dressed accordingly, especially if you're going to be standing in line, which it sounds like we're going to be. There's going to be some cold temperatures this morning, and if you wanted to wait a little bit until we had a little bit of a warm-up later in the afternoon and the winds die down, that would be afternoon when that takes place. So here's the wind gust here in the morning, and as we go later in the morning, it starts to die down a little bit, and then once we get in the afternoon, it kind of just goes away, and we just get very calm by the time we get to dinner time and early evening. So it's going to take not as windy as it was yesterday, not as cold as it was yesterday. It'll feel a lot warmer once the winds die down and the sun comes out this afternoon, and we have much calmer winds to deal with at that time, with temperatures getting up above the 50-degree mark today as opposed to being in the 40s yesterday. So that is going to move away from our region, and we're going to be in a considerable warm-up that's going to begin on Wednesday. Wednesday, I think, is the first day we're going to get to the 60-degree mark, and we're not going to look away from that, or we're not going to get below that for the remainder of the 7-day period. In fact, we're going to make a run at 70 degrees this weekend and early next week. At a minimum, might even go to the middle of next week, but there is nothing on the precipitation maps going all the way through the week here, and there's absolutely nothing but high pressure to deal with this entire week. So there's no chance of precipitation for the entire 7-day period, and high pressure is going to be in control, so it's going to be a lot of partly to mostly sunny days. Now, one thing I have to mention, though, as we look at the upper air analysis, this is looking at the cooler air that's in place today. It's not quite as cold as it was yesterday, but it's going to be replaced by these warmer temperatures coming in here, on Wednesday, and then especially Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Going into the week, it's going to keep getting warmer and warmer. We're making a run at 70 degrees. With that, this time of year, the Earth cools a lot faster at the surface than it does aloft. So because of that, I'm expecting just about every single night from the time we get to, from Wednesday night straight through the end of the period, we're going to have this warmer air coming in aloft and a little cooler at the surface. That causes a temperature inversion. Typically, when you go up in height, in altitude, you have temperatures steadily decreasing, and then you get clear skies, and but if you have a temperature inversion, which is temperatures actually increasing slightly with height at a certain point before it drops, you have any moisture that's trapped underneath that layer will result in some fog. So there's a chance for fog just about every single morning from Thursday through the end of the period on Monday, and this is looking at Monday here, where we have at the end of the period. So this actually goes beyond this point until we get to at least midweek before a cold front comes through, and this actually runs out of range on this particular model here. But it's not really cold air coming in here after that cold front comes through. I think we get back to, instead of 70, we're kind of like upper 50s and near 60, so back down close to normal, maybe slightly above average once we get to the end of next week. But until then, it's going to be a steady warm up. And looks like just dry conditions straight through the entire period. Very benign weather pattern coming up after we get past today. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchers. That is your outlook for November 3rd, 2020. Have a great Tuesday.